Hello, 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 and welcome back to A Little Birdie Told You. I'm your host, Krista Knight.
And I'm your host, Kelly Knight.
I read a quote today, or a few days ago, but I'm going to bring it up to you guys today because I think sometimes it's cozy and comforting to share something that we found because maybe someone else needs to hear it. And I'm kind of feeling called to share this with everyone because I feel like someone might need to hear it. Is sometimes when we entertain something that is not for us, we end up postponing the thing that is for us, the thing that is meant to be ours. And I'm not exactly saying that word on word, but I'm trying to help establish some sort of meaning to that. Is sometimes we're so focused on something that we know is not meant for us, but we're trying to force it to be in our lives. We're trying to force it to align with us. But we're not realizing that we're postponing the aspect or the factor that is meant for us.
Yeah.
The one thing that is meant to come into our lives that is so much more beautiful and so much more aligned with our purpose and who we are, because we're so focused on forcing something that we're so comfortable with. And that really stuck out to me because I said, wow, I think some of us really do not know how to value ourselves enough to walk away from a situation that is no longer serving us. Do you agree with that, Kelly?
Yeah, I do. Because I think sometimes it's not even just postponing it, but I think sometimes you have to learn something before you go to the next step. And some people don't realize that. Like, some people are like, oh, I had to go through, this and this to get here. But really, you should be thankful because without those little steps, really, you wouldn't be ready for what's next. You know what I'm saying?
I think you really have to have faith in situations like that. You have to have faith that something is better, something is going to get better. And sometimes I don't like to use that term better because I don't want people to feel that they're living a life right now that is terrible for them, but maybe it's not aligned with your higher purpose. It's not aligned with the person that you have the potential to become. And that's what's important here. That's what we need to emphasize.
Yeah. I think you just need to focus whatever's going on in your life now, whatever, step or lesson, whatever you're going through now, enjoy it while it lasts because it's not going to be the same next month or maybe even the next week from now. You know what I'm saying? Because once, like Kristen said, you get through that little like stepping stone of being like, oh, something's blocking me from getting here, or like, like Kristen said, doing better, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like a little glow up or whatever. However, whatever word you want to
Transformation.
use
We're going through a
whatever.
little transformation, guys.
Exactly. That's when, you know what I'm saying? Like, you worry about that.
Well, sometimes I think it has a lot to do with not growing and
Yeah.
staying stagnant. I think the moment you start to feel stagnant, like, wow, this makes me feel very miserable, but I want it to force. I want it to happen for me. I want this to happen. And I'm not saying, good things are not tough because of course they are. And that can be in your own life. Maybe you're going through like a career or schooling and things are getting very tough for you. Maybe you're in this place where you're very alone and you feel that you don't have any friends or any social life, or just things in your life generally are tough. It feels like things keep happening to you and you can't explain why. And you're not understanding there's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You're just seeing this little minuscule portion of the picture and you don't realize how much greater things can get for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to focus on, is you don't realize how great things can really get for you. And sometimes we look at it as, like, me and Kelly have said this before, and I think a lot of people have seen this imagery as you're asking for this little thing. You're like, please just let me hold on to this little thing. But there's this much bigger bouquet of flowers when you're asking for this little rose, and you don't realize it quite yet. So sometimes we do have to let things go, or we do have to realize we have to walk away from this, because you have to understand what's meant to be is going to be. If it is aligned with you, then trust and believe that it is going to be on your path. And if you have this fear that, okay, what if it doesn't work out? Then it wasn't aligned for you. It wasn't meant for you. There's something else meant for you. And you have to just have trust in that.
Another thing I want to say is, if you cut something off, just remember that it will grow back better. Because there's no such thing as, oh, if I cut, whatever, this or this out of my life, that it's not going to be better. You know what I'm saying? That things couldn't be better in your life. Because I think when you cut something off, you also are telling God that you're like, I can let things go to actually grow. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're somebody that holds on to every little thing or every little person that maybe treats you bad, or you just need to move on. If you sit there and hold on to something that long, it shows God that you really aren't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not ready. You're not somebody that can just, you know what I'm saying, move on and be like, I want to do better for myself. It doesn't matter who's in my life or what's going on. I want to just do better.
It shows that you're choosing yourself.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
It's like when you're choosing yourself, it feels a lot more better. Like when you're somebody that's always like a people pleaser and is always sitting there being like, oh, well, I don't want to lose these people. What if they don't like be friends with me? It's not what if for them. It's what if for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if I let these people go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would have a better friend group. Or, what if I let this job opportunity go? I'll probably have a better one out there for me. Like, it's not about other people. It's not.
One of the mottos that I place with so much significant regard is when one door closes, another door opens. And a lot of people say, oh, just because the door closed, that doesn't mean that it's fully closed. Like you can actually go back and open it. But I don't think that you should necessarily open a door when it's closed. But the way I try to project this is when something ends, there's something new coming. It's a new chapter. It's a new way to start. And I think that when you start to realize what you deserve in this life, when you start to actually understand, okay, these people don't serve me anymore. This situation doesn't serve me anymore. This job doesn't serve me anymore. This choice doesn't serve me anymore because it's not providing me the value that I deserve as a person, the value that I see in myself. They don't understand the value that I bring to the table. So I'm going to pull away now because I'm realizing that I need to let this go to bring in something that truly values me. I'm going to create space for someone to come in that values me, for an opportunity to come in that values me, and is aligning with that energy that I'm putting out there into the world, that I feel that I'm valued, I feel that I'm appreciative, and I deserve such things. These things are now going to be attracted to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I think most of the time, like we always say, like the way that you see things or the way that you act, you attract. So it's like if you're somebody that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you're like, when you need to grow, you know it because you can feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just feel like drained in every way possible. That's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm not getting anywhere with
You feel
this.
like a caged, like you're in a cage.
Yeah,
and that it's
or
time
just
to be
in
set
general,
free.
sometimes if you're around the wrong people, you're like, or just maybe you need to grow away from them. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like I'm like, these aren't like these people, like you just get bothered by them. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the stuff that they do, you're just like, this is immature. You know what I'm saying? But another thing with the thing that Kristen said with closing doors, I think a lot of us, we shut the door.
Try to push it open.
But no, it's not that.
We do. Some of us do try to push it back open.
But it's like shutting a door, but not throwing away the key. But you always think maybe about that thing, like, oh, what if you like? It's like thinking about the past when really you just need to let it go. So it's like Kristen said, you just need to throw away the key. And if one day you come back along and you find that key again, and all of a sudden you open that door, maybe, you just needed to grow a little bit or just grow for a little while and then come back to it. But that doesn't mean like. I feel like even in the past, I used to always say that, and I feel like I used to always follow it like, oh, well, I'll come back to it later. Like that was kind of like the way that always got me through things, but I'm like, you can't think that way because things don't always come back.
Sometimes things do have to break apart to rebuild a steady foundation. Sometimes things didn't start off on this foundation that is actually steady and stable. And sometimes it has to break apart to rebuild to actually engulf in that, if that makes sense. And a lot of us choose to kind of keep it and like things are wobbling around and we just want to keep it around because that's what we're used to and we're used to comfort. A lot of us don't want to get out of our comfort zone.
No.
And a lot of us growing is not comfortable. When you go through growth and transformation, you go through a lot of healing and purging and you're feeling like you're losing things, but you're gaining things and you don't really understand everything that's going on around you. It's kind of like you're in the fog. And I've explained this feeling before and you feel like you don't know what's next. You know what's behind you, but you don't really know how to even embrace the present because you're not sure where you stand. You're in the in-between. And that's kind of that portion when you're starting to question, do I let go of these things? Do I know that there's better? Is there better? And you're asking yourself that. And that's when you just have to stop and say, I have to have faith in this. I really have to have faith that the future is going to get better. Everything's going to get better, okay? I can tell you that. It will get better. Whatever situation you're in, if you plan on progressing and moving up and becoming your better self, you're going to get better. You're going to align with better. Why? Because you're improving. Improve your mindset. Don't go backwards. Don't say, okay, I'm going to go back to my past. I'm going to go back to these old habits because this is all I've ever known. Focus on getting better. Focus on elevating yourself and transforming yourself to become somebody that you aspire to be, because then you're going to attract that. There's no way you won't get better. If you leave a person or you leave a situation and that situation you felt like no longer served you, and you say, you know what, I'm going to get better from this. I'm going to grow. I'm going to be better. And then you actually will attract better because you're trying to be better. You understand your value, you understand your self-worth, you're understanding these things, and now it's going to transform into your life.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, we run back to the things that weren't healthy for us, but we run back to it because you were comfortable. And we all just want to like run back to something that's stable and comfortable, and you know that's like there. And sometimes when you grow, it's not stable. It's not going to be stable, and it's not going to feel comfortable, because growing, like Kristen said, when you're growing, it's not going to sit there and feel like cupcakes and rainbows and, oh my gosh, everything's going my way. Like, there's going to be things that you have to let go of, or things that you're going to have to jump into that you're like, oh, I do not feel like comfortable like doing this at all.
I agree. I think that it's a constant battle between, okay, do I run back to this door, or do I go to the new door? And you want to go to the new door, but you're scared, you're fearful.
Yeah.
And that's a normal sensation to have.
I think at the end of it, though, you should just run to the new door. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were really meant for that whatever thing that you're trying to run back to, it'll come back later on. If it's really meant for you.
And maybe it's not. Maybe you're entertaining something that's draining you and makes you feel miserable about yourself. And you could be attracting something that is meant for you, that actually brings you peace and brings you harmony and makes you feel aligned with the person that you were supposed to become. And I don't mean to sound all, how should I say this? I'm like, oh, align and harmony and peace, like everything's perfect. But we do know when something's meant for us and when something's not meant for us. I think there is a distinct feeling between the two. When something is feeling forced, you feel it. You know you're forcing something. Even if you don't want to admit it to yourself, you know you're prying it. You're just trying, like, okay, yeah, this will work. I'm so comfortable with this. I can't let this go yet. If I let this go, then what's going to happen? And you're forcing it. And we've talked about this. It's like a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. You know those puzzles when you're building a puzzle and you're like, this puzzle piece fits here, but it doesn't actually fit here. And you like really
you sit there and you try to cut it and stuff and make it fit and make it work.
And it just doesn't work.
You know, like it's just going to fall out of place and it's not going to work. And you're just going to have to go searching for that actual missing piece that was supposed to be there all along.
Yeah. And then when the missing piece shows up and you just set it gently there, it fits. You're like, wow. Like this, like
it's such a relief.
Yeah, it's such a relief to be like, wow, this actually just settled so nicely. And people don't understand that when you start to actually consciously make decisions, yes, cutting things off, those friends that you have that don't want to include you and act like you're nothing to them, you say, okay, you know what? I understand my self-worth. Yeah, I might not have any friends, so I'm just going to cut them off. I know I'm going to be lonely. Some of us say, okay, well, I'm going to be lonely. I can't cut these friends off because I don't want to have anyone to include me, but they don't even include you anyways. They're just people around you. When you can make space for people that actually truly value you, cut them off. We don't need them because they don't value you as a person. They don't appreciate your presence. If they don't appreciate your presence, why are you entertaining them? Why are we doing that? So when we cut them off and we start saying, yeah, you know what? This does hurt. It does hurt. It doesn't feel the greatest. I don't want to have to cut people off. Okay, this doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm cutting this off. You know, and I'm not trying to say cut everything off, but you're consciously making decisions to better yourself. Okay, you know what? This habit that I do, this isn't really great for me. I shouldn't be checking social media and comparing myself to all these people that are living lives that I don't even know if they're actually reality. They're just unauthentic people. I shouldn't worry about when I go out alone. I shouldn't be afraid to exist and be alone because why am I afraid of existing? When you start doing those things, you're aligning with bettering yourself. Things start falling into place perfectly and you're like, wow, I actually didn't even realize things can fall into place like this. Sometimes we have to clear out and we have to hurt for a little bit. Sometimes it's just going to hurt. We have to go through it. But then you start to realize things fall into place for you because now you're being rewarded for understanding your value. You're being rewarded for knowing what you deserve. So things start to fall into place and you're being rewarded for that. You're going to attract the things that you know you deserve because now you have the conscious awareness to decipher between, is this good for me or is this bad? Now, if you always hold on to things just because you're comfortable with them or it's all you've ever known, you're never going to learn to let go. And you're going to get hurt later in the road when they cut you off instead of you cutting them off because they cut you off because you're desperate and you just want to be around them. And it's going to hurt much more than you saying, you know what? I'm going to stand up for myself. I understand this is no longer serving me. This is not good for me. So I'm going to walk away from this situation.
I think most of the time, I think when you need to walk away from something. And I think it's just like, and that's when it's like, you're like, oh, I know I need to walk away from it. I just, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to, or you just don't know how. And, I think either way, like I like to say, if you're not meant for something, God will sit there and just, I don't want to say do something that's like, you're like, maybe you're very uncomfortable. Like, you're just like, this is not a type of situation I want to be in anymore. Or maybe it's a person you're just like, yeah, this person keeps hurting me, whatever. But at the end of it, either way, if that's not meant for you,
it's like rejection is redirection.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, body language tells you a lot about something or someone, because if you constantly, maybe like, I'll be honest, this happened in the past with me, with somewhere I was going, and I was like, yeah, I had never been so anxious in my life to go somewhere. I was like, yeah, I know this is not the right place for me. And it wasn't anywhere crazy. It was just like the people that were there drained my energy so bad that it was like, it made me so anxious to go there. And it would be a place that you would think that somebody would be like, this is where you're supposed to be going when you are anxious. But this place made me so anxious that it mentally drained my health, like bad. And I was just like, this is crazy. And finally, I actually got away from it, but I didn't want to lose people that I thought were good for me, but really they weren't.
Well, because sometimes we think that what everyone else considers good for them, we don't understand that sometimes those things aren't good for you, but everyone else, I should say, culturally tries to perceive it as good. They try to make us perceive it as something that's good. Like everyone's welcoming, this person's welcoming. Oh, this is welcoming. You can never leave this place. You can never not be friends with her. She's so sweet. What do you mean? And then you're like, but when I'm around this, I just feel like this is not meant for me. I feel like this environment is not the place for me, but everyone else feels so calm and relaxed. Sometimes you're not meant for those things, okay? If you feel in your body, okay, something about this, I'm saying it's good to get out of your comfort zone. Sometimes we've got to get out of our comfort zone. We've got to experience new things because that's going to help us grow as a person. And these experiences that you go through are helping you grow as a person. Yeah. But what I am trying to say is sometimes we're not meant to be in certain environments, and you can feel when you're not meant to be in certain environments. When you're in that environment, you can feel the toxicity, or you can just feel something just doesn't suit me here. I don't fit in this room. I don't fit in here.
It feels off.
And it just feels like, okay, I don't fit in here. So where am I meant to fit in? And sometimes you're meant to fit in places that maybe not everyone else was meant to fit in. And you actually have to understand that for yourself and not have to find ways to prove that to other people. If they tell you, okay, well, why don't you want to be friends with her? She's friends with everybody. Everybody's friends with her. He's friends with everybody. He's such a nice guy. You're like, there's something here that doesn't suit me. Like maybe every girl wants to date this guy, and then you get a chance to maybe, talk to him and get to know him, and you're like, something about him just doesn't suit me. Something about him doesn't feel right.
Just because everyone wants him does not mean that you need him, sweetie. Like,
no. And just because
that's
everyone
a bad sign right there.
Just because everyone goes there and they make it seem that it's such a nice environment and so welcoming.
Most of the time it's fake. Like we've said, the grass is greener on the other side because it is painted and it's fake. Like that's the truth about it. And that's with a lot of people though too. Like a lot of people sit there and, or maybe an environment, like, you know what I'm saying? People sit there and like, you're like, oh, these people are all nice or whatever. They're all nice because they're all fake. Like people, like when it really comes down to it, a lot of people are insecure about something, and then it's just like everybody's fake about it. You know what I'm saying?
And they don't value your presence in that environment. So don't entertain people that do not prioritize your value. Do not entertain people that do not see your value. If you notice people don't see that, that is not meant for you. You're meant to see your own value. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to be happy with your existence and be happy with the person that you are becoming, and that you are and work towards becoming that person. Even if you're not that person today and you're not where you want to be, or maybe where you feel that you're meant to be, work towards becoming that. Don't fall behind and hold on to things just because people are trying to keep you where you're at right now. Sometimes people are trying to do that. They're trying to deprive you of your growth. They're trying to deprive that flower that you're going to blossom into. We're not trying to sound all, how should I say this? I don't know, wishy-washy, girly girl on you, okay? I'm not trying to sound like that. But I'm really trying to give you an analogy to understand that you are trying to blossom into this person that you're becoming. Don't allow people who no longer serve you or trying to make you feel that your growth is being stunted hold you back from becoming that person. If you feel that okay, well, I'm not appreciated here. They don't see me and they take me for granted.
Remember, people don't see what you see in yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can look in the mirror and be like, I love myself. Like, I see so much worth in myself. People don't see that unless they're the right people.
Sometimes they project onto you. You might get in a group of insecure people that are all in one environment, and you show up in that environment and you're very secure in yourself. And that's why you're feeling like you're out of place here. Because these people are projecting onto you. They're putting all their hatred and negativity on you because they see something in you that they want in themselves.
Yeah.
They want security. They want to feel as confident as you are. So they try any way they can to knock you down.
Yeah.
They try to bring you down to their level because they can't stand seeing something that they're afraid of becoming.
Just remember that just because you think that you're in the right place, you might not be. Because that's like, how do I say this? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like at the store, it's like a water bottle, right? You go to one place and it's like $3. Then you go to another place and it's like $6. You know what I'm saying? That shows you how much somebody, like how much it's worth. You know what I'm saying? You were just in the wrong place. People are going to sit there, push you around, treat you bad. You're not in the right place.
You just need to be somewhere that respects your worth.
You need to go, and you need to go to the place that actually people are like, dang, you know, like they're like just like you, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the right people I'm supposed to be around.
And sometimes you don't need anybody around to guarantee your worth.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just yourself.
I'm saying you can bring that to any environment. You could be in a room where everyone else decides, okay, we're going to completely isolate from this individual and make them sit alone. And we're going to completely isolate from them because we don't want to be around them. There's something off about them. There's something that doesn't match our energy here. So we're going to isolate them. Well, you know what? You sit isolated and you stand tall and proud and say, you know what? I'm going to sit isolated all by myself because you know what? I love my own company.
Yeah.
And that's the way you need to go about it. You just need to enjoy your own company and realize don't entertain things. Don't entertain people, places, things that do not appreciate you.
Yeah.
If they do not appreciate you, they disrespect you, okay. Good, that's good for you. I'm not gonna entertain that. Okay, I'm gonna meet you where you meet me. You don't want to entertain me. I don't need to entertain you. We don't entertain here. You don't want to include me. Okay, well I won't include you. You don't want to sit next to me. Well, great. I'll sit by myself. We don't need to sit next to each other. And I'm not saying that just like that, but I'm saying it quite simple that it's to the point where you should say, okay, you know what? I don't even need to worry about this. This is nothing to me because I have myself. I entertain myself. I'm happy with myself. I don't need to worry about that. You don't want to be my friend. You don't want to include me in this relationship, and you don't want to put effort and energy into me. Okay, well, I'm not going to settle for that. We're not going to pursue that. We're not going to entertain that. Okay. Really focus on entertaining the things that deserve to be entertained, and don't even entertain. How should I say this? Not even merely entertain things, but necessarily seek things that seek your value.
Yeah, like effort.
That understand your effort and value that you place on yourself. Really dedicate time to those things. Allow those things into your life. Or it might not even be people, but places that see your value.
Yeah.
Or opportunities that see your value. Give those your attention over being comfortable and staying with something that doesn't see your value or appreciate your presence.